Hello everyone, welcome back. You're watching the Data Labs. My name is Dilip. This is the part 5 of complaint management system in Excel and VBA. And in this tutorial, we are going to insert a blank module in our project and write sub-procedures and functions to handle all these functionalities like applying default color to input controls, validating the input provided by users, transferring the data from form to Excel worksheet, and providing the dynamic references to list box and combo box controls. Okay, so let's move to the complaint management Excel file. So here you can see that I have already opened that file. Okay, this is the file which we created in the previous part of this tutorial. If you have not watched the previous part, then I would recommend you to watch the tutorial starting from part 1 to part 4. It will help you understanding the logic and functionalities, and you will be able to relate all the logic in this tutorial as well as upcoming tutorials as well. Okay, so now we are going to write the code. So let's jump to Visual Basic application window. So to open the VBA window, just click on developer tab here, and under developer tab like here you can see the code group, and under code group you just need to click on Visual Basic icon. Okay, so now we are in Microsoft Visual Basic for application window. And in our last tutorial we created two different forms. One is FRM complaints, that is complaint management system. This is the main window, you can say parent window. And the second form is FRM resolve. This is basically to resolve the complaints. So we have already done with the designing part, like inserting two forms which are required for this project. So to write the code, we need to insert a blank module. So basically most of the code or most of the procedures and functions we are going to write in a module. So let's insert a module here. So to insert a module, just click on insert menu and then click on module. Okay, now you can see that one module has been inserted in our project, that is module 1, and this is the code window for that particular module, this module, right? And this is the project properties window basically. And in properties we have only one property, that is module 1, and here we are not going to change the name of module because we have only one module in this project. If you are working on any of the project and having more modules, like 4 or 5 different modules and having different purpose, then I would recommend you to rename the name of module accordingly, like according to the purpose of that module. Okay, so it will help you in understanding, like it will increase the readability because you will be able to easily find the required code pertaining to a particular module. Okay, so now let's start writing the functions and sub procedure required for our project. So first of all we will write a sub procedure to apply default color white as a background color to text boxes and the combo boxes which we have used in complaint management system form basically. So let's move to the module window. So just double click on this module window, and now we are in code window for that module. So let's start with the comment. So let's start with okay, so let's start with the sub. So the sub, and the name would be default color underscore pending. Okay, and let's create some room. Now as we are going to write the code for FRM complaints, so let's start with FRM complaint and here end with. So here we will write all the code between with and end with block. So let's set the indent over here, and let's start with, so we need to apply the default color on date. So dot txt date dot back color, that would be VB white. Now next is txt name, so basically customer name dot back color is equal to VB white. VB white. So we have done with all the text box like date, customer name, customer email, and customer employee name, email, and description. Now we have 3 different combo box left, so let's target the combo box. So CMB country dot back color is equal to VB equal to VB white. So we have covered all the input controls like the text boxes. So we have utilized 5 different text boxes and 3 different combo box in our FRM complaint. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 different text box and 3 different combo box here. Okay, so we have done with the default color for pending. So now let us create a new sub procedure to assign the row source reference to the pending and resolved list box controls. So we are here you can see that we have 2 different list box. One is LST pending complaints and the second one is LST resolved complaints. So we need to write a sub procedure to assign the dynamic row source reference to both the controls, both the list box controls, so that whenever the data will increase or decrease in pending and resolved complaints, code will auto adjust the row source and provide the reference to this list box. So let's move to module here and let's start writing a new sub procedure. So let's put a comment over here. So okay, so let's start with again the sub and the name would be list box reference. Now let's create room here and here we will start writing the code. So first of all let's declare a variable, basically 2 variables. One would be for pending and one would be for resolved. So here dim I row underscore pending as long, and the second would be dim I row underscore resolved as long. So we will utilize both the variables like I row pending and I row resolved to store the last non-blank row number available in pending complaints worksheet and resolved complaints worksheet. For pending complaints we have I row underscore pending. So let's copy this and let's paste over here and let's identify the last non-blank row. So let's start with this workbook dot worksheets, and here we are going to refer the worksheet that is the pending, basically this is pending complaints. So make sure the name should be same as pending complaints. Okay, dot range, and here we need to provide the range. So here it should be static, but we need to identify the row that would be that would be dynamic basically. So here maybe rows dot count, so it will provide the last row number, and then and then we are going upside. So what it will do, it will select the non-blank row like the last row number where data is available, and then we need to find out the row number. So this is for I row pending. Let's copy the same code here, the same line of code, and just Control C and then replicate it for resolved. So let's copy this variable, replace the I row pending with I row resolved, and here we need to change the worksheet name basically. So here resolved complaints, so let's change the name from pending to resolved, and the rest of the code will remain same. So now we have done with the identify the last non-blank row available in pending complaints worksheet and non-blank available in resolved complaint worksheet. So we have stored, basically we have stored the row number in I row pending and I row resolved. Now we need to set the reference of list box. So let's target the pending complaints. So here let's move to the Excel worksheet basically, and this is the pending complaints. So here we have you can say we have 9 different columns starting from A to I. Okay, And in resolve complaints we have, we have 12 different columns starting from A to L. So we need to keep this the reference in mind while assigning the reference to list box. So let's move to Visual Basic application here window, and let's target, first of all we will target the pending complaints. So let's put a comment here. Okay, so here let's give the reference, so FRM complaint, and this is the form name, and LST pending complaints dot column count. So as we count the column which is available in pending, that was 9, so that would be 9. And again we need to show the header in list box. So FRM complaint dot LST pending complaints dot column heads should be true. So it will automatically pick the column header which is available in row number 1. Okay, first of all we will identify whether the I row pending is 1 or greater than 1. So if I row pending is 1, it means there is no data. Basically there is only one column header which is available in row number 1. If the I row pending would be greater than or 1 basically, then it means there are some data. Okay, and the same logic will be applicable for I row resolved as well. So let's start with here. So first condition would be if I row underscore pending is equal to 1, it means there is only one header, no data basically. So then the reference will be static. Okay, so let's FRM complaint dot LST list pending dot row source, and the row source would be here pending underscore complaints, and then it will start from A2 to L, sorry I2 basically, so I2. Okay, so this would be the row source, and here you can see that we are not utilizing the I row pending variable because there is only one column, but there is only one row, that is the column header. Let's else section, and here and if. So the next scenario would be if there would be some data. So let's copy this statement and paste over here. Now we need to remove the 2 from here, and we will make the column basically row as a dynamic. So the row number is here we have already captured in I row pending, so I row underscore pending. So now we have done with the assigning the dynamic reference where data would be available. Okay, so let's copy the same line of code which is for pending. Just copy this and replicate the same, paste over here. Let's create some room. Okay, now we need to change the reference from pending to resolved. So let's change the comment first, resolve list box, and here we need to target the LST. So let's dot LST resolved, and the column count would be 12. So in resolved we have two different like 12 counts. So 9 is coming from the pending, and 3 are additional, and we need to just copy the list resolved complaints and just replace the pending with resolved, and the column head would be true. And here we need to replace the variable. This is this variable. Okay, so if I row is equal to 1, then we are targeting the resolved list box. So here this one, this would be resolved, and this would be I to L. Same, just copy this entire code, replace this entire line with this one, make the row number dynamic, so ampersand, IRO underscore resolved. Okay, so we have done with the writing the code to assign the dynamic reference to both the list box. One is for pending and one is for resolved. So let's debug whatever the code which we have written to identify whether there is any error or not. So just debug here and compile. So you can see that there is no syntax error basically. So let's start writing the code. So now we need to write a sub procedure to initialize all the controls which are available in this complaint management system. So we need to initialize all the text box, combo box, and the summary, and we need to reassign the pending and resolve complaints. Okay, so let's move to module 1, and here we need to write. So let's put a comment over here. So okay, so let's start with sub. So sub, and the name would be initialize underscore pending complaint. So let's create some room. So let's move it to, okay, now let's create some room here. So if you talk about the pending complaints, we are targeting the FRM complaint, because we will be able to raise the fresh complaint with the help of this form, the FRM complaint. Okay, so as we are targeting the FRM complaints, let's start with FRM here. So with FRM complaint and end with. Press Ctrl S to save this. So now first of all we have text field over here, so like the date one. So dot txt date and dot value, and txt date value would be, because that would be system provided value, so that would be date, basically today date. So here we will utilize the Excel function. So in a square bracket you can pass any of the Excel function, and that will provide the output. Okay, so here text and then today function, today, and then comma. Here we need to pass the formatting, so we are going to dd then y. Okay, and then close the bracket. So this is for date. Now we need to because see this is the system provided data basically, so user will not be able to enter the date, system will automatically update the date. So we need to log this txt date text box. So dot txt date dot enabled is equal to false. So what it will do, it will lock the field so that user will not be able to make any modification. And we will do the same for other field like employee name as well. So let's start with txt employee name here dot value, and as this is also provided by user itself, so we need to write environment function here, and from environment we need to fetch the username. So username, and again we need to log this. So txt employee name dot enable, and that would be false. So we have disabled both the fields like text date and employee name dot txt customer name dot value, that would be blank. Okay, dot txt description dot value is equal to blank, dot txt email dot value is equal to blank. So we have 5 different text box: date, employee name, customer name, description, and email ID. So these are the text box. So we have initialized this text box like customer name, description, and email with blank, and initial two like date and employee name with today date and the username who is working on that particular complaint. Okay, now we have three different combo box which we have used in FRM complaints. So let's set the dynamic reference to all those combo box. So let's target the country first. So put the comment here, creating. Okay, so first of all we'll create the name. So let's sheets, and the sheet name is support data because country list is available in support data. So support underscore data. Okay, and then a range. So let's move to Excel file first and understand the range here. So here we are targeting the country basically. Okay, so the range is starting from A2, and we need to make this dynamic. So code will automatically identify the last non-blank row, and then it will create the name basically. Okay, so let's click on Visual Basic here and let's start. So the range will be starting from A2. So A2, and then comma, again sheets. Here sheet name would be support underscore data, and then range, and A again ampersand here, application dot rows dot count dot, and here Excel up. So what it will do, it will select the range basically starting from A2 to till data is available, and then we need to create the name, like we need to assign the name to selection. So that would be dot name, and then name would be country. Now we need to set the reference of combo box. So the name of combo box is CMB country, and dot row source would be here country. Okay, and the value should be country dot value would be blank. So initial value would be blank. Now we need to set the reference for region combo box as well. So let's copy this line of code starting from comments to value, Control C, and replicate this for region combo box. So here region and either region. Now the Excel worksheet would remain same, like the data is available in support data. We need to change the reference, and we need to replace A2 A with C, because regions are available in column C here, and the name would be here, the name would be region. Okay, here CMB region dot row source, and this value is equal to blank, and we need to assign the region here, region. Okay, so we have done with assigning like creating the name for country and the region, and we are assigning both the name to CMB country and CMB region. Okay, so now we have left with one more combo box, that is CMB priority. So adding items to CMB priority. Okay, so first of all, like here we are going to add, we are not going to create a dynamic reference, because on priority combo box we have only three values, that is one is high, medium, and low. So here we need to keep that static. So first of all we need to clear the combo box. So any of the value would be available in combo box, that would be clear. So CMB priority dot clear. So clearing means removing the items, whatever the items are available in the CMB priority. Okay, and then we need to add the value. So CMB priority dot add item, and the first item would be high. Okay, and then CMB priority dot add item, and the second would be medium. CMB priority dot add item, and the last would be low. So we have done with adding 3 items, high, medium and low. Let's set the value as blank. So cmb priority dot value is equal to blank. So we have done with the third combo box, that is priority. Now we have one item left, and that is the checkbox control, whether it's a VIP customer or not. So let's dot chk VIP dot value. So initial value would be false, that is the boolean value. Okay, we have already covered the description part in text box here. So here we need to write the code to refresh the summary part, like where we are showing high, medium, low and overall count. So dot multipage dot value is equal to 1. So first of all we are selecting the resolve complaints, and then again we are selecting dot mu multipage dot value is equal to 0. So once we will like this particular code will switch from pending to resolved and resolved to pending, it means whatever the code we will assign on change event on multipage, like for multipage, that will get fired. And while writing the code for FRM complaints, the event handling, basically we will show the summary or refresh the summary. Okay, so now we need to call the sub procedure to set the reference of list boxes. So we have already created a sub procedure, so let's call this. So first of all we will put the comment over here, setting the reference of list boxes. Okay, and here call, let's go to the upside. We have already written, so the name would be, name is basically this one, the list box reference. Just copy this and just paste over here. So this is for setting the reference for list box. And now we need to call the sub procedure to assign the default color to input control. So let's put comment here, and the name is here, the default color pending. So just copy this, the name of sub procedure, and come to here, then let's call and control V. So we have done with the sub procedure which we will utilize while initializing the input controls or while resetting the inputs on FRM complaint here. So let's move to the debug and compile to find any syntax error. So you can see that there is no syntax error basically. So our code is clean. Maybe there would be some logical error. So while running the project, we will find the logical error. Okay, let's write a function to validate the entries made by user. So let's move to the FRM complaints. So here we suppose user has fed the information in input controls and then click on submit. So there would be scenario like where user has not entered any information in any of the inputs. Okay, so in that way we need to validate all the entries first, and then if everything is okay, then we will move ahead and we'll start transferring the data from this particular input to the pending complaints worksheet. If any of the input will be pending, then it will prompt an error message that okay, you need to input the details, and then we will be able to submit the data. So let's start writing that particular function here. So here we need to write the function. So let's put comment here. So as we are creating function, so it will start with function key, and the function name would be validate pending, and the function type would be boolean. As boolean. Let's initialize this function with true. So validate pending would be true. So initially we will assume that okay, user has provided all the information, and then we will start validating, and if any of the validation will not meet the criteria, then we will assign validate pending with false, and then we will come out from this function. So as we are assuming validate pending is true, so we need to call the the default color pending, that would be white. So let's copy this code, and here we need to replace this. Now we are targeting these FRM complaints while validating with this particular function. So let's start with FRM complaint, and here end with. So we will write all the validation part within with and end with block. Let's create room here so that you can see this clearly. So first of all, we will start with customer name basically. So if .txt customer name dot value is equal to blank, then here we need to pass a message box, and the message box would be please enter the customer name. Okay, and here the button would be VBA OK only, and the title would be customer name. Okay, now we need to set the focus. So txt customer name dot set focus, and we need to highlight the customer name text box with red background. Txt customer name dot back color would be VV red, and then as it's not meeting the criteria, so we need to validate pending would be false, and then we need to come out from this particular function. So exit function. So this is for customer name. Let's copy this code, this entire code for customer name, and replicate this to validate the email ID as well. So now it will be else part. So else if txt email, so dot txt email dot value is equal to blank, then please enter the email ID. Okay, email ID. So now we need to copy the text box name and replace the customer name with email ID name here. Now copy the code and replicate this for country. So combo box country. So here we need to replace the object name, so CMB country, and just copy the country name here, and please the message box would be please select the country name from the drop down, and the title would be country. Here txt email, replace this with combo box country. Let's again copy this code and replicate this for regions. So Control C, and here, so that would be, let's align this. Okay, CMB region, and just copy this CMB region, replace the country with region, and here please select region name from the drop down, and here region. Now we need to create, we need to copy the code again, and we need to replicate this for priority. So CMB priority, just copy this name and replace this region with priority, and here the message would be please select the complaint priority from the drop down, and here priority. Okay, now we have only one thing is pending, that is the description, basically the complaint description. So let's copy this code again and replicate this for description. So the name would be .txt description, and just copy this and please enter complaint description. Okay, So we have done with the description as well. Let's put end if here. So now we have done with the validation part. Let's move to debug and compile. So you can see that there is no error as of now. So let's create a new sub procedure to show the form, and this sub procedure we will utilize while assigning the macro on a raise complaint button, which is available in the home worksheet basically. So this sub procedure is very simple. So sub show underscore form, and here frm complaint dot show. Simple. Okay, so we have done with the required code for module 1. Let's move to the complaint management system form and start writing the code on different events basically. So let's select this form, and here you can see that it's a view code, so just click on view code. Okay, let's remove this sub procedure, we do not require it now. And from object here we need to select the form basically. So here user form, you can see that, and here from the event we need to select the initialize. So we will start writing with initializing the controls. So we have done with inserting a sub procedure like the event procedure. Okay, so we will write the code to initialize the controls which are available in FRM complaints. So as we have already written a sub procedure to handle the initialize or reset process, so let's call that procedure here. So let's move to the module 1 and go to the, just copy this sub procedure name and again move to the code part here, remove this, and let's call this one. So now we have done with assigning calling the sub procedure on initialize events basically. Okay, so let us write the code to update the numbers in summary basically. So we have, you can see that we have some labels and we need to write the code to update the summary. So what we will do, we will write the code on multi-page change here. So we have already selected this multi-page, so let me select this multi-page. Okay, and then just click on view code. Now we can see that we have one sub procedure which is related with the change event for multi-page. So we will write the code here to show the summary. So first of all we will declare 3 different variables to hold total counts of high, medium and low. Okay, so here dim I as long, comma j as again long, comma k as long. So we will store high, medium and low. Okay, so as our multi-page has 2 different pages, one is for pending and one is for complaint. So the sequence number for page 1 is 0 and the sequence number for page 2 is 1. So let's start writing the code. So if multi-page dot value is equal to 0, it means if a user has selected the first page, and then otherwise else, and end if. So here let's count the total number of high, medium and low which are available in pending complaints worksheet. Okay, so here I is equal to, we are going to apply the Countif function basically. So in a square bracket we will pass the same Excel worksheet function, so Countif, and here we are targeting the pending complaints worksheet complaints. And let me move to the Excel worksheet basically here, and pending complaints. So the priority is available in G column, so we will refer the G column, and while for resolve again this is also available in G column. So for both the worksheet priority is available in column G. So while writing the code we will use this column number. Okay, so G and G and comma, we need to find high over here. high. So this is for high. Like, just let's copy this code again and replicate for medium, and again it replicate for low. So the column would remain same, condition will get changed, and that would be low. So what it will do, it will provide the count of high, medium and low, and it will assign to variable I, then variable j, and then variable k. Okay, now we need to assign this I, j, k variable to the different labels which are available on FRM complaint. So let's start with FRM complaint and with. Okay, so first of all we will change the caption of frame. So FRM summary dot caption, and the caption would be pending complaints summary. Okay, and now we have 4 different labels. So LBL high, then LBL medium, then LBL low, and then LBL overall. So we have 4 different labels: LBL high, medium and low. So the LBL high dot caption would be I, because we have stored total high cases in I. Then here again caption would be J, and here dot caption would be K. And for overall, the caption would be the summation of I plus j plus k. Okay, so we have done with identifying the total high, medium, low cases, and we are assigning it to the labels, basically LBL high, medium, and it should be LBL low. Okay, so let's copy the entire code here, starting from I to end with, and replace replicate here for resolve complaints basically. So here we need to change the worksheet name basically. So pending, let's change the pending with resolved, and as the G column has case priority in resolved as well, so that will remain same. Paste over here, and again the same label would be remain same. So FRM caption here, resolved complaints, and done. So we have done with the multi-page, so we have done with writing the codes on multi-page change events, and here we are refreshing the summary which are available in the FRM complaints. Okay, let's debug here to find any error. So there is no error as of now. Now let's move to the FRM complaint window, and let's start writing the code to reset the complaints basically. So just double click on here, and you can see that we have a sub procedure for click events on CMD reset. So so first of all we will get the confirmation from user whether user wants to reset or not. So to do that, let's declare a variable I as VB message box result. Okay, and then I would be message box, do you want to reset the form? VB yes and no, and plus, as we are asking question, so VB question comma reset with bracket. So if user will like select no, it means user does not want to reset the form. So in that way we need to come out from this sub procedure. So if I would be VB no, then exit sub. If user will select yes, then we need to proceed with the codes, which is to initialize the variable the controls basically, because we are utilizing the initialize underscore pending complaints sub procedure to reset the controls as well. Okay, so call, let's move to the module here and just copy this initialize comment, and let's call and this one. So now the pending part is like transferring the data from FRM complaint to pending complaint worksheet. Okay, so let's write the code on click event on submit this button. So let's double click on it and start writing the code here. So here we need to take the confirmation whether user wants to transfer data or not. So let's copy the line of codes from cmd reset underscore click events and just paste over here. So let's change the message. So do you want to submit the data, and here submit. So if user will select no, then we need to come out from this this procedure. If user will select yes, then we need to proceed with other codes. So here we like before moving ahead, we need to validate whether user has entered correct information or not. And as we have already created a function to validate the entry, so let's utilize that. So if validate pending is equal to false, then exit sub. So if validation will be false, then we need to come out from this sub procedure. If validation will be true, then we need to proceed with other codes. Okay, so let's declare a variable. So dim sh as worksheet. So here we will utilize sh to refer the pending complaint worksheet here. Okay, and now dim I row as long. So we will utilize I row to store the last blank row which is available in the pending complaints. Okay, so that we can transfer the data in that particular row. Okay, so let's with FRM complaint, and here and with, let's remove this and let's create some room here so that you can easily see the entire sub procedure. So before writing the code in with and with block, we need to set the reference of worksheet basically. So here set sh is equal to this workbook dot sheets, and the sheet name is pending underscore complaints. Okay, and now we need to identify the last blank row. So we have already declared a variable that is I row as long. So I row is equal to we will refer the pending complaints worksheet. So we have already set the reference. So here sh dot range, and the range is a ampersand rows dot count, and here excel up dot row. So it will provide the last non-blank row. So we need to add one to move to non-blank to blank row. So now we can start writing the code under this the with and end with block. So let's sh dot range here, and here a ampersand here I row dot value. The a column is for date, so let's equal to dot txt date dot value is. Let's copy this line of code and replicate it for other columns as well. So this would be for employee name, this would be for customer name, customer email ID, country, priority, and then region. You can see this would be region and then priority, and then value customer or not, or VIP customer basically, and then description. So it would be, let's change the name here to B column C D E F G H I. Okay, and here we need to change the reference of the controls. So this would be dot txt employee name, and then this would be customer name dot txt customer name. This would be customer email dot txt customer email, and this would be country dot txt cmb country, and then this would be for region, and this would be for priority cmb priority, and this would be the H would be for a VIP customer or not. Here we need to identify whether user has selected VIP customer or not. So if dot chk VIP dot value, if it has been selected, then it would be yes, otherwise no. Okay, and the last would be txt description. So now we have done with the transferring the data to respective column. Here now we need to call the initialize underscore pending complaints. So here let's copy the code. This is available in reset. Here copy and paste over here. Okay, so we have done with the submit button code as well. Let's click on debug and compile. So you can see that there is no error. Let's remove the unwanted blank lines. Okay, so let's run this code here. I think there is some mismatch. Okay, so we forgot to close the bracket. Again we need to close the bracket here because we are utilizing the Excel function. Okay, and we are passing Excel function within a square bracket. So I think under initialize we have used black color basically. So let's close this Visual Basic and move to module. So here I think this part. So txtml back color vb white. Oh, so you can see that there is a spelling mistake, so that's why it's not showing the correct color over there. So now you can see that the system has updated the today date basically here, the employee name. Now we need to feed the information, and as we do not have any pending complaints, and that's the reason it's showing high, medium, low and overall as 0. So let's quickly enter some data over here. So I am just leaving as it is, blank email dd@gmail.com. It's a fictitious email ID, and let's Albana defective products high and testing. Let's click on submit. So do you want to submit the data? Yes. Please enter the customer name. Because customer name is blank, let's maybe DK, and let's click on submit. So again it's taking confirmation. Do you want to submit the data? Yes. So now you can see that we have transferred one complaints, and that is started reflecting in pending complaints section here, and the summary has started showing the information like high, medium, low and overall. Let's close this form and move to the pending complaints, and you can see that the data has been transferred in the respective columns here. Okay, now the pending part is we need to assign the macro on raise complaint. So just right click on raise complaint button, assign macro, and this is the show form we need to assign here. Click on OK. So now we have done with assigning the macro raise complaint. Here you can see that it has started showing. Okay, so now we have done with writing the codes which are required to raise the complaints and view the details basically in pendings and the summary section. In next part of the tutorial we will cover the coding part for resolve complaints, while like user will double click on this particular any of the complaints and it will open the next form, and with the help of that form user will be able to transfer the data from pending complaint section to resolve complaint section, and again same from pending complaints worksheet to resolve complaint section worksheet. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this lesson, and if you have any question you can always ask me in comment section. If you have not subscribed our YouTube channel, then please do subscribe it and hit the bell icon to get the notification of all upcoming tutorials. If you find this tutorial useful, then please like, share and comment. Thanks for watching. Let's move on to the next part of the tutorial.